Today, I want to talk to you about layered learning. And you're probably asking yourself, what is layered learning? With the way that we are learning to code nowadays and with the high levels of abstractions that are happening, so I want you to think about how, for when people are starting to learn coding, especially those who are taking computer science courses, you'll most probably start with assembly, and then you'll go on to C programming, then you'll go to Python, then you'll get to all the other languages, right? So all these, there's a lot of abstraction that has happened along the way to the point where you're learning Python, whereby you don't fully understand the inner workings of a language unless you go ahead and read about it, or unless you did, assembly or C. Then now with the advent of AI, there is now even higher levels of abstraction. So in this context, I want you to think about AI as an API. Like, it's just a high level abstraction that you're calling an API, and then it gets you the information that you need. In this case, if you're asking it to give you some code, it gives you the code. Now, what is the risk that comes with this? The risk that comes with this is that if you highly depend on these high levels of abstraction, you end up only knowing how to use a tool and not, how the tool works under the hood and how to even make better judgments when it comes to the entire architecture and the kinds of decisions that you make whenever you're building a program or an application. And this is why I think that at this age, layered learning is one of the best things that you can ever do. Now, I have an entire article that I've written on my Substack about layered learning, but I'm going to just give you the quick framework on how to adopt layered learning, right? So the first thing you need to do in adopting layered learning is learning the fundamentals first. When I'm talking about the fundamentals, I want you to practice the core coding concepts. Like we're talking about core algorithms and data structures. And make sure that you understand them by hand. For example, can you implement sorting? Can you implement a linked list? Can you reverse a linked list? Can you build a basic HTTPS server with a very minimal setup, even just using Python? I have a video about that on YouTube. These are fundamentals that you learn, and then they help you understand how memory works, how concurrency works, how the input-output works at a conceptual level. And a lot of these small experiments that you do, they help you understand the fundamentals really, really well. Now, the reason this is important is because if you're learning Python or JavaScript, you'll start using, for example, like the sort function just for you to sort an array, right? But do you understand how that works under the hood? So you need to understand it for you to make the best decisions whenever you're using all these high levels of abstractions. Once you've learned the fundamentals, the next step